The great hall of the Galactic Council was silent. Inside the floating chamber, 12 alien races stood around a glowing circle. Their robes were fine, their eyes cold, their judgment final. In the center, standing alone, was Earth's last representative. Commander, Silas Roan, a tall man with tired eyes and a jaw clenched tight with rage. He didn't beg. He didn't argue. He already knew what was coming. The High Speaker, a creature with golden skin and 4 glowing eyes, raised its voice. Earth has broken the law of unity. Earth has attacked a council ally. Earth has refused to pay tribute. Earth must now be banished. The words echoed through the chamber. Silas stood still. He looked around at the faces above him. Leaders of powerful systems, ancient empires, cold-blooded kings. None of them cared. Not about Earth. Not about the humans struggling to survive on their dying planet. "You turn your backs," Silas said. "You think we will fade away." The council leader replied, "You will. Without trade, without tech, without fuel, Earth will not last 10 cycles." Another alien added with a sneer, "Let them return to dirt and fire. It's all they ever were." The vote was made, unanimous. Earth was banished. The punishment was not war. It was silence. No more communication. No more star routes. No more shared technology. Earth's gates to the stars were closed. As the human ship was escorted out of council, space, Silas looked one last time at the glowing symbol of the galaxy's most powerful alliance. Then he said something no one expected. "Thank you." The guards frowned. "Thank you for giving us a reason to start again." And then he was gone. Back on Earth, the news spread fast. The council has betrayed us. They've left us to rot. Some panicked, some cried, but some built. Years passed. The cities dimmed. Fuel ran out. Satellites fell. Earth became quiet. To the outside galaxy, it looked like collapse. But inside, something was growing. Silas Roan formed the Terran Unity Command. Not a government, not a military, a mission. We don't need their tech. We don't need their permission. We need each other. We need belief. We survive together or we vanish forever. The people listened. Old factories were rebuilt. Ancient minds returned to work. Children were taught not just math, but survival, strategy, and unity. Weapons weren't the goal. Discipline was. In the first 10 years, they created the Fold Engine, a new kind of warp system made from salvaged council junk and human innovation. Inside Bandar, year 15, they launched the first ghost ship, silent, fast, and impossible to track. By year 20, Earth no longer looked like Earth. It had changed, evolved, but no one in the galaxy saw it, because humans didn't send a signal, didn't trade, didn't complain. They simply disappeared. The galaxy forgot about Earth. The council thought they had won. 300 years later, a small colony was attacked in the outer rim. Pirates looted the farms, took slaves, burned cities. No one came to help. No one except a single black ship. It arrived without warning. No name, no call. In 1 hour, the pirates were gone. The colonists were confused. They tried to thank the Aratso ship. A calm voice replied over the comm. "You are safe. You are free. You are now protected by the Terran core." Then the ship vanished into the stars. The name spread like fire. Terran core, Terran ships, Terran tech. No one knew who they were. But systems began whispering, "Did Earth survive? Did the humans return?" And slowly, fear crept into the council. They searched. They scanned. But Earth was gone from their maps. No signals, no beacons, no signs, just shadows in the stars. And in the silence, one truth echoed from the past. "You banished us, you forgot us, now you'll remember. Oh, you'll..." The outer rim of the galaxy was full of forgotten worlds, old mining colonies, lost trade routes, silent outposts covered in dust and silence. The council had turned its back on them long ago. But now, something new was spreading through those dark corners. Something fast, something powerful. And no one knew where it came from. It began on the planet Vorex, a small colony ruled by the Gulari Syndicate. The Gulari were slavers, cruel, rich, armed. They had ruled Vorex for 70 years. The workers in the underground farms didn't even know what sunlight looked like anymore. But then one night, the sky cracked open. No one heard an engine. There were no warning signals. Just a sudden, massive shape descending from the sky. Sharp, black, and silent. The slavers panicked. They fired their ground weapons. They launched their defense drones. Nothing touched the ship. It didn't respond. It simply moved, like a shadow. And then, it struck. Not with noise, not with fire, but with precision. In less than 4 minutes, the Gulari command tower collapsed. In 6 minutes, their planetary defense grid was offline. By minute 10, every slave collar unlocked. The prisoners looked up at the ship as it hovered low. They were afraid, confused, silent. Then came the voice. Not loud, not angry, just calm. You are now free. You are now protected. You are now citizens of the Terran core. Before anyone could ask who or what, the ship disappeared into the sky. The story of Vorex spread like wildfire. Other colonies that had begged the Galactic Council for help in the past remembered how the Council ignored them. Now they whispered one name, the Terran core. Who were they? Why were they helping? And why did they come now? Soon, more planets were freed. On Drashathfor, a mining colony held by a powerful warlord, black ships appeared without warning. They hacked the warlord's orbital satellites in seconds. Ground troops, in black armor, tall, silent human, walked through fire like they couldn't feel pain. In just 1 hour, the warlord's forces surrendered. The people expected new rulers. Instead, they got freedom. And a simple message carved into the stone of the central plaza. Strength without unity is weakness. The Terran core stands for those forgotten. At the Galactic Council, fear began to grow. A map showed a spreading trail of liberated colonies across the outer rim. But no one knew where the Terran core came from. Their ships didn't show. On scanners, their weapons didn't match any known tech. Their people didn't speak to outsiders, they just acted. Then vanished. Admiral Kelvar, a veteran of 3 border wars, stared at the reports in disbelief. "We banished Earth 3 centuries ago," he said. "They couldn't have survived." Chancellor Dana whispered, "What if they didn't just survive? What if they evolved?" A long silence followed. Then one word was spoken by someone no one expected, the same old alien who once signed Earth's exile order. He said, "They are not the same humans we once knew. These are not rebels. These are architects." The Council sent probes to search for the core's origin. All vanished. They sent ambassadors. None returned. Only one signal was ever received back. "You are not ready. You had your chance. Stay. In your core worlds, this galaxy no longer belongs to you alone." And slowly, the Council began to lose control. Some outer systems refused to pay tribute. Others removed Council flags. And some sent secret messages, asking to join the Terran core. No reply came. Only silence and protection. In deep space, on the bridge of a black ship shaped like a spear, Commander Ava Roan stood watching a map of liberated worlds. Her eyes were calm, her armor unmarked, her voice soft. "Let them fear," she said, "but also let them wonder." Behind her, a soldier spoke. "We've freed 57 worlds. Do we announce ourselves now?" Ava shook her head. "No, not yet. Let the galaxy feel the weight of what they forgot." And so the core kept moving. Planet by planet, system by system. No speeches, no flags, only action. And the whisper grew louder. Earth is back, but not for revenge, for something greater. No one in the galaxy had ever seen the inside of a Terran core city. Their ships came and went like ghosts. Their soldiers never spoke. Their weapons made no sound, and their systems were invisible to scanners. The Council had theories. Some believed it was just advanced AI. Others said Earth had help from ancient machines. But then, something no one expected happened. The Terran Corps sent an invitation. 3 ambassadors were chosen, one from the elegant Thalari Empire, known for diplomacy and grace, one from the brutal Krax Dominion who laughed at human weakness, and one from the Council itself, wearing the seal of the very group that banished Earth. They were told nothing, only where to be and when. Their ship left from neutral space. Moments after entering warp, it stopped, not slowed, not dragged. Stopped completely, as if space itself had frozen. The crew screamed in confusion. All systems shut down. Engines, lights, shields, even air recyclers. Then, they were caught in a beam of silence and pulled forward. No one felt acceleration. No one knew how they were moving. They were simply being taken. When light returned, they were floating in front of it. The Terran Core Citadel. Not a station. Not a planet. Something in between. A ring-shaped city the size of a moon orbiting a dying red star. Black. Smooth, quiet. Its walls had no markings. Its energy didn't shine. And yet, it felt alive. A voice came over the comms. Female. Calm. Human. You are clear to board. Leave your weapons, bring only your memory. The ambassadors looked at each other, unsure, but they obeyed. Inside, the halls were simple, clean, bright. No guards, no cameras, no symbols. They passed rooms full of light, training arenas, silent meditation chambers, and schools, filled with alien children learning beside human ones. But no one spoke to them, until they reached the core hall. There, waiting, at the center of a massive circular chamber stood a human. He wore no armor, no crown, no rank, just a long black coat and a silver band on his wrist. He looked at them with eyes that didn't blink often, eyes that had seen centuries. His name was Director Solon Roan, great-grandson of the exiled Commander Silas. He spoke softly. You came with questions, we came with answers. The Thalari ambassador bowed politely. Your empire, it grew so fast. We do not understand how, Solon answered. You never looked at Earth. You only looked down on it. The Krax ambassador snorted. You hide behind shadows. Where is your strength? Solon smiled. He clapped once, and a wall opened. Behind the wall was a war room, maps of the entire galaxy, every planet, every fleet, every secret base. The ambassadors gasped. You watch everything? The council envoy whispered. We learn from everything, Solon said. Even your lies. They were then shown Terran farms on asteroid belts. Factories, powered by starlight. Armies that trained in silence under no banner, only under one code. We serve the mission, not the ego. What is the mission? Asked the Thalari. Solon looked into her eyes. To make sure no one is ever forgotten again. To never let silence be the weapon of the powerful. To protect those the council left behind. The Krax ambassador laughed. You're just angry children playing empire. Solon turned to him. We erased 3 of your slave colonies last month. Did your empire cry for them? Or did you just forget them too? The Krax said nothing. Then came the final moment. Solon led them to a high tower. From there, they saw it. Earth, not as a broken world, but as the heart of a galaxy-wide network. Clean, strong, bright. Ships left its orbit like silent birds. It had not died. It had transformed. Solon spoke one last time. We invited you not to impress you, but to warn you. If you think we want war, you still don't understand us. He turned away. We didn't return for revenge. We returned because this galaxy still needs leaders, who remember what it feels like to be cast aside. The ambassadors were escorted out. No goodbyes, no deals, just silence. Back on their ship, one message was waiting, from the Terran core. 4 words. Now you've seen us. And with that, they were returned to their own space. The ship reactivated. Time began to move again. But nothing felt the same. Because now they knew the truth. Earth was never weak. Earth had never died. It had simply been forgotten, long enough to become something unstoppable. The question spread like wildfire across the stars. How did Earth survive? How did it rise again, stronger than ever? What did we miss? The Council, the old empires, even pirates and smugglers wanted answers. But no spy returned. No scan worked. The Terran core was wrapped in silence. Until now. On a distant desert moon, a hacker named Quen finally cracked a signal. It came from a broken drone, one that had briefly touched Terran space before being shut down. The data was corrupted, scrambled, but something was there. Not military secrets, not blueprints. Memories. Quen restored the files and played the first. 1. It showed a ruined city, once called New Chicago, covered in ash and dust. Children walked barefoot past broken machines. Adults carried metal scraps, their eyes sharp and quiet. A voice spoke behind the footage. We didn't survive because we were lucky. We survived because we had no choice. The next file showed a school, half underground. Students, human and alien, were training in combat, engineering, diplomacy, and code breaking, all before the age of 12. Teachers didn't give lectures. They gave missions. Mistakes weren't punished. They were studied. You fail, a teacher said. You learn. You give up. You don't belong here. Another file showed a gathering of leaders. No titles, no crowns. Only simple badges on their arms. Each badge had one word. Contributor. One man stood before the crowd. He said, "We have no kings. We have no rich. We have only those who build." The crowd responded with a single sentence spoken in hundreds of voices. I serve the mission. Back in the present, Quen stared at the screen. He whispered, they didn't build an empire. They built a machine of unity, and it worked. Meanwhile, in secret council chambers, old leaders reviewed the same files. Fragments had begun leaking into black market networks. Too many to hide now. The truth was out. Another video showed a Terran forge in deep space. Machines worked without pause. Armor was grown, not built. Ships were shaped in magnetic fields, not welded. And soldiers? They were trained in silence, not for glory, but for discipline. One general watched the footage with shaking hands. They train children like commandos, he muttered. They raise thinkers, not just fighters. His aide whispered, and no one questions the mission. In the next file, Terran medics were seen healing alien children on a burned world. No banners, no announcements. They left behind no message, just life. A final recording showed the rebuilding of Earth itself. Forests replanted, oceans filtered. Skies cleared, cities rose again, not tall but wise, built with energy drawn from deep space winds and old sun cores. And all across those cities. There were no statues, no single hero, only one symbol. A small flame wrapped in a circle of stars, the symbol of remembrance. The last line in the recovered footage was spoken by an unknown voice, calm, powerful, human. You thought we were broken, but we were only buried. And when you bury a seed, it doesn't die, it grows. Now the galaxy knew. Earth didn't rise through war. It rose through unity, through discipline, through remembering its own fall, through the pain of silence. Some feared them more. Some respected them. But all of them finally understood. You don't destroy humans by exiling them. You make them unstoppable. Back on the Terran Citadel, Director Solon stood watching stars pass by. His aide approached. "Sir, the leaks have begun. They've seen how we rose." Solon nodded. "Good," he said. "They needed to see it wasn't magic." The aide asked, "What if they try to copy us?" Solon replied, "Let them. A galaxy built on strength, memory, and service is a galaxy we can live in." The galaxy believed humans had become warriors, cold, silent, ruthless. But when they saw how humans governed, they were more shocked than ever, because in the Terran core, no one ruled. Not like kings, not like senators, not even like council, votes. They ruled by law. And law in the Terran core was sacred. It began with a simple mistake. A merchant from the wealthy Jandari clans came to Terran space with gifts and gold. He wanted to buy favor. He offered tech, secrets, and bribes. He thought the humans would smile, shake hands, and take his offer quietly. Instead, they arrested him at the border. He was taken to a large open hall on a neutral station, not a prison, but a court. There were no chains, no threats, only watchers. Dozens of species sat silently. No one moved. No one interrupted. The judge was a human woman, dressed in a plain gray uniform. Her name, Justice Kale. She read the charges calmly. Attempted manipulation, violation of core border law, disrespect of mission principle. The merchant laughed. "I'm a guest. This is how we do business in the Jandari." Kale's face didn't change. "This is not Jandari space, this is Terran space, and in our space, all are equal." The trial lasted exactly 1 hour. Everything was reviewed. His recordings, bribe offers, trade history. He was found guilty. His punishment? Exile from all. Terran systems. For life. "But I gave you a gift," he shouted. Kale replied, "We do not trade trust for gold. We trade it for truth." The trial was broadcast across 92 systems. Millions watched it, and for the first time, aliens saw a justice system where not even humans were safe, because days later, a Terran fleet captain was put on trial. She had ignored a request for medical aid from a low-level colony. She claimed she was following orders. The Terran court disagreed. In public view, they removed her rank, stripped her code badge, and sent her to serve in a frontline engineering unit. No trial delay, no special treatment, no secrets, just one sentence written on the court wall. No one stands above the mission. The galaxy was stunned. In the council, a politician whispered, "They judge their own like they judge outsiders." A diplomat from a trade guild added, "They don't fear punishment, they fear forgetting who they are." The Terran laws were built on 5 pillars. Truth over comfort, service over status. Duty over power, action over excuse memory, over pride won. File leaked from inside Terran space showed their oath ceremony for new recruits. A young alien, a rescued orphan from a lost world, stood before a human elder. He was asked one question: "Will you serve truth even when it burns you?" He nodded, and became a full citizen, not by blood but by choice. The Terran core had no royal families. No elections, no term limits, only contributors. You served, you helped, you learned, and if you stopped, you lost your badge. No violence, no anger, just silence. Even Terran children were raised to know the law, not out of fear, but out of purpose. The law, one teacher said, is not for power, it's for protection, from the day we forget who we are. Back on the edge of council space, a governor visited a liberated Terran planet. He tried to offer a secret deal to open trade. The locals refused, not with guns, but with witnesses. They recorded the entire meeting and sent it to the nearest justice, Beacon. The governor was banned. His own people removed him before the Terrans had to. One alien reporter wrote, "The Terrans do not fear war, but what they truly fear is becoming what once betrayed them." Inside the Terran citadel, Solon Roan watched the files of that week's justice decisions. He read everyone. His aide asked, You review even the smallest rulings? Solon nodded. We were exiled once, not by war, but by corruption and silence. We will never make that mistake ourselves. And so the galaxy finally understood. The Terran core was strong, not because of weapons, but because no one, no matter how powerful, was above the law. The world of Neruva had seen too much war. Its skies were always gray from smoke. Its rivers ran dark with ash. For over 40 years, it had been ruled by invaders from the Threx dominion, cold, cruel slavers who drained the land and its people. Neruva had sent messages for help to the council, to the trade guilds, to the Dominion's own peace courts. No one came, not until the sky changed. At first, the people thought it was just another storm. A low rumble echoed across the sky. Then the clouds began to part, not from wind but from something moving inside them. A single ship appeared, black, silent, unmarked. It hovered above the capital city, not firing, not speaking. The slavers laughed. They aimed their turrets. They sent fighters, but their weapons never reached the ship. They simply stopped, mid-air, mid-fire, frozen in space. Then all communication systems on the planet went dark. All screens showed one simple message. Step back, the mission begins. The Terran core had arrived. But not with speeches, not with a fleet, just one ship, and that was enough. In the central tower of the Threx command base, alarms screamed. Guards ran, leaders argued. Then the lights turned red, and the walls melted. Not from heat, from precision energy slicing, silent and instant. Beat Bill. Terran ground team moved like smoke. 5 soldiers, human and alien alike. They didn't speak. They didn't shout. They just freed. In less than 20 minutes, the Threx occupation was gone. Their ships were locked. Their weapons dismantled. Their command wiped, without death, without bombs, without fanfare. The people of Neruva came out of hiding, and standing there in the center of their broken city, they saw the Terran commander. A tall woman in silver black, armor with a quiet gaze. Her name was HFY. She raised her hand. A small flat badge hovered above her palm. You are free, she said. But freedom is only the beginning. One elder stepped forward. His name was Mael, and his voice shook. You are humans? She nodded. You were banished. We were forgotten. Why help us now? Asha looked around at the broken city. Then she replied, because we remember what it felt like when no one helped us. Later that evening, the people gathered in the old city square. Food was shared. Children played under lights that worked for the first time in years. And Terran engineers helped repair water systems, power lines, and comm towers. No one asked for payment. No one gave orders. They just worked, side by side. At sunrise, Asha gathered the Neruvan leaders. We do not take control, she said. Then, what do you want? Asked Mile. We offer a choice. To join the Terran Corps is not a deal, it's a promise. She handed them a scroll. Not a contract, but a code of contribution. It had only 3 rules. Protect all who serve the mission. Place truth above rank. Leave no world behind. Mile read it in silence, then looked up, eyes wet. We've never been asked to serve a cause like this. Only rulers, only flags. Asha nodded. We're not building a kingdom, we're building something harder, something worth remembering. And with that, Neruva became the first non-human world to raise the Terran banner. It wasn't made of cloth, it was a signal. A pulse of light sent across the stars, not a claim but a calling. Other worlds watched. Other people listened. And one by one they began to ask the question, if the humans were banished, why do they protect us better than those who stayed? Inside the Terran Citadel, Director Solon received the Neruvan transmission. He watched, the image of children holding Terran emblems and engineers teaching Neruva's students. His aide said, do we send reinforcements? Solon shook his head. They're not under attack. They're beginning. The aide smiled. They joined. Solon corrected him. No, we joined them. That day, across more than 24 broken worlds, small signals began to appear. Old radio towers flickered to life. Cracked satellites turned toward Terran space. One message repeated in dozens of alien languages. We are ready to remember, and so it began. The galaxy no longer saw Terrans as ghosts. Now they were builders, protectors, and most of all, the ones who came when no one else would. The Galactic Council Hall had not changed in 300 years. Same polished floors, same floating banners, same old voices, still pretending they ruled the stars. But this time, the whispers were different. Fear had returned to the room, not because of war, but because of a single message that arrived in the middle of the night. The Terran Core requests entry, for one day, for one purpose. The Council had no choice. Systems were defecting, trade routes were changing, and entire fleets were refusing Council orders because Earth had returned not with guns, but with trust. When the day arrived, all eyes turned toward the grand sky window of the hall. Outside, the stars dimmed, not because of night, but because of a fleet. No weapons out, no fire, just dozens of black ships, shaped like calm storms hovering, in perfect silence, and at the front, one ship, sleek, silver-black with no name, only a flame-shaped insignia glowing at its core. The Terran Core had come. Inside, the delegates stood as the doors opened. Not one guard moved, not one whisper passed. The sound of boots echoed as 3 Terran leaders entered. No robes, no crowns. Just gray coats and memory in their eyes. The one in the center stepped forward, Director Solon Roan. He stood before the 12 council seats. His voice was calm. Every word was simple, but behind it was centuries of silence finally broken. 300 years ago, you banished Earth. You watched us starve. You turned your ships away. You left us for dust. He raised his hand, not in anger, but in proof. A glowing sphere hovered in the air, showing a single image, a Terran medic healing a child on an alien world. We didn't return to punish you. We returned because your systems are failing, and the galaxy still needs someone who remembers what silence costs. One council member stood, shaking. Are you here to take control? Solon shook his head. No. We are not here to rule. We are here to lead, if invited. And if not, we will keep building. Another asked, why now? Solon looked directly at her. Because the forgotten have found us. Because your people asked us to come. And because every broken world you left behind deserves to rise. A large screen behind him lit up. One by one, it showed faces, aliens, humans, hybrids, survivors, people from freed colonies, people once abandoned, each of them saying the same thing. The Terrans came when no one else did. Then silence again. Solon placed a single scroll on the council floor. It read, the Unity Proposal. A new charter. No ranks, no empires, only responsibilities. Any world could join. Any world could leave. The only requirement? To protect the forgotten, to serve the mission, and to never again turn away from the cry for help. The room was quiet, not from fear, from understanding. Then, one by one, council members stood, not to speak, but to remove their old banners, to lay down their symbols of power, and to walk toward the Terran delegates, no, not as rulers, but as equals. Outside, the fleet waited, still, silent, watching, but this time, it wasn't just humans inside. There were alien captains, freed commanders, former council citizens now wearing the badge of the mission. The Terran Core had not come to divide, it had come to heal. Later that night, a child on a quiet moon asked her mother, did the humans win? Her mother smiled gently. No, she said. They didn't come to win, they came to remember, and now so will we. Back in orbit aboard the lead Terran vessel, Solon stood alone, watching stars pass by. His aide entered. It's done, she said. Solon nodded. Not done. Begun. And so the galaxy changed. Not with fire, not with blood, but with truth, and the return of a people who had once been cast out, only to return stronger, wiser, and ready to build a future no one would forget.